up as a leader within all groups. He's been really crushing the charts, and since day one, I noticed that he was really ready for ready for greatness and to help the team and really just grow as a trader and obviously builder as well. So um, definitely tune in and take a lot of notes from Vaughn. He's been doing phenomenal on the charts, you guys. So everybody put a one in the chat if you're excited for Vaughn to drop some sauce for the squad. Vaughn, this is all you, bro. Take it over.
No problem. All right. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for even considering me to talk to you guys. It's an honor to do that. Thank you, Dan, for the warm welcome. And Dan, the man, is somebody that I watched every day, watched him as well go hard on the charts and win in the market. So he's somebody that I watched from the beginning, and I learned a lot from him as well. A little bit about myself, though. I'm a retired Marine, small business owner. I have a few companies here in Chicago that I own and operate. I'm a rapper, inventor as well, and obviously I day trade. I'm also heavy in the crypto market. And I learned all this stuff from the IM Academy as far as investing in the cryptos and also into the binary options. But I would say that the Academy has really helped me a lot. But this team is what got me to where I'm at. Without this team, I would not be where I am. So all the things they have in place, like the chart markup, the sessions that they have on the team, is what really catapulted me to get better. But I would say that every day, what I did was that I marked the chart up every single day, at least 5 to 7 charts a day, and I put them in the chart markup group for feedback. And when I got that feedback, that really helped me get better. I analyzed what I did wrong. Okay, took some advice from other people, and I tweaked my strategy. So now I can honestly say that I have my own strategy now, and I'm able to, take my own trades, and I'm confident in my trade. So when I do trade, one of the biggest things that I have is confidence in what I do. I don't second guess my entries. When I say I'm going to take a trade, I take it, or win or lose. Most of the time, I win more than I lose. So I can say that I am successful now, and I'm consistent, which was my biggest goal, was to be consistent in trading. So that's my little story. Now what I want to do is kind of show you guys what I see in the market. This may be some advanced training for some people. If so, just let me know and I can kind of break things down a little bit further. Because now what I use on my trading strategy is called zones. When you first come into this platform, you're taught about horizontal lines, right? Or making, let me move this real quick. You're taught about using horizontal lines to make your support and resistance levels. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, if you're new and don't know what a toolbar is down here, this favorite toolbar, you can create this by pushing the arrow to the right, making this extend out, and you just star whatever you want to come into your favorite toolbar at the bottom. So I have my fib retracement down here, my horizontal lines, my arrows, my trend line, things like that. And you can basically highlight those things at the bottom. Okay, let me just show you that one more time. Whatever you want to highlight, like I said, extend it out and start. Okay, that's the basic there. Now, I'm going to look at GBP odd. I look for two things in the market. I look to trade into a consolidation trend or a trending market. When I say trending, I mean it's either going up or it's going down in a trend. When the market is moving sideways like this is called consolidation. So those are my two favorite times to trade in the market. But predominantly, I love trading with the trend more than consolidation, obviously, right? Because with consolidation, it can break out at some point, and you don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark up a chart with horizontal lines first, make that real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into the zones, which is what I really focus on now. And with that being said, I normally start on the daily chart, right, to do my horizontal lines. I start there first. I'm just going to bring that down so I can see it. And I don't have to put a whole bunch of lines on this chart on the daily, just the basic coverage. So I'll start at the top. And when I do my markups, I put them on the top of the wick because to me, wicks matter. Okay. So I'll put a line here on the top. And I don't really care about the colors. I normally use either red or green for my colors. Sometimes if I'm going to use my horizontal lines, I'll make my daily chart horizontal lines one color, the 4-hour chart one color on down. Just switch the colors out. That way you can identify the strength level of that horizontal line or the resistance level, because obviously the higher the time frame, the stronger the resistance level is on a higher time frame. Okay, but again, I'm just showing you. I'm not going to worry about switching the colors now because I'm not really going to use that. Just covering some basic lines that I see. And again, you don't want to make too many lines on the daily chart. Okay, so that's about all I like there. Let me go to the 4 hour. And now you can kind of see that you're seeing more levels of resistance that you can put. Now, what I look for is, let me just explain this part real quick. I look for at least 4 to 8 different, wicks that come down so I can make that resistance level, right? And then you also want to be looking back in history. You want to go back left. As I always say, you want to look left. That just means you're going back in the previous date. At the bottom here, it shows you the calendar. Like you see, it says March the 15th. This is March 22nd, so on and so forth. So you can go back as far as you want to kind of make sure that this is definitely a level of resistance or support. Okay. And what what support and resistance means is that just means that the market has been there before. Okay. So previous support will turn into future resistance and vice versa. Okay. So that's what that means. Now I'm gonna come back to my right, see if I see anything else that I like. Obviously, I want to put a line here because I can see a lot of candles coming here and touching my dotted line. So now I'm going to put a horizontal line there to make it permanent. Okay. And as you go down, these lines are going to be there. So you don't have to worry about putting them back after the fact. You're not going to go unless you erase your chart, they're going to be there. All right. So I kind of like this area here. Let me just search left to make sure that's a good line. So you can kind of see, as I go back left, yes, the market is definitely hitting this line and it's respecting that line. So I like that level of support. Now I'll go back down to my 1 hour, see if I see anything else. And again, I'm not going to oversaturate my chart with a bunch of lines. Okay, I like that's about it for that one. On my 30-minute chart, I can kind of see that the market is definitely going up. And I see a few more lines that I might want to put in to make sure I don't miss anything. So right there, you can kind of see that the market is definitely supporting right in this area. So I just put a line right there. Again, right here in this level, you can kind of see the same thing, that you got a lot of reversal. So you want to kind of split that up. So I just put a line right there. And I try to keep things very simple for myself. I don't want to overcomplicate, what I'm doing. And I normally like the 30-minute chart a lot as far as like making sure that my entries is solid. I'll go to the 15 and the 30 to identify my trade before I take the trade. Okay, cool. It's hitting there. I'm taking that trade at that level because 30-minute and 15-minute are all lining up for me. Okay, it's kind of like my confirmations because I don't use any RSIs, stochastics, or any other indicators to trade with, and I don't use Cash Trap. Now I like Cash Trap. It's just that in the beginning I was not successful with Cash Trap. And another thing is that I did not want to depend on an indicator or a system to help me trade. In my mind, I really wanted to master trading on my own. I wanted to master market structure, SRT, and by doing that, I'm way more confident and better in trading with that. Now, anything I add to my strategy is like a bonus. I'm not dependent on a system or an indicator. That makes sense to you guys. But everybody trades differently. I'm not knocking anything or anybody's strategy. Just as what works for me. And my strategy may not work for you, but prayerfully it does. Okay. So that's the 30-minute chart. I might see one more area here that I like. I'll put a line there. Okay, and I can always go back and change these colors. Again, I'm not really worried about colors right now. Go down to my 15. And as you can see now, I don't really need any more lines. I'm pretty much done here. Okay, go down to my 5-minute chart and check that out. Okay, now on the 5, you can see there's a lot more different levels of support I can put in there. So I'm going to put one here. And if you got questions, you guys, anytime, just let me know. I can slow down or go over some stuff that I missed or may not be clear to you. That's not a problem. Okay, and again, that's about it for me right there. So now I can pretty much look for opportunities to trade on. Okay, I don't know if you guys know about the Fibonacci Retracement tool. We call that the Fib. That is a tool that Jake really utilizes and pretty much, has brought to life for the AP14. And I use the Fib a lot. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I use the Fib. Again, I have that down in my favorite bar here. So basically what I'm looking for with the Fib is a trend. Right now, we know the market is trending up, right? So what I'm going to look for is the low, which would be here. And I'm going to drag my fib up to the current high, which would be up here. And then I'm going to wait for that market to come down to a certain zone and take my trade. Okay. Now, Jake harps a lot about the 618 zone because that's kind of like the honey spot where you can take your trades at. Once it goes past the 618, you have the green zone and then the third zone up top, and you can take another trade. Okay. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So again, I'm going to drag it from the bottom, go to my right in an angle upwards to the right, and put that right on the top of that candle up there. I'm going to make that big. I'm keeping it small and zoomed out. You guys can see the trend, but I am going to zoom in closer. You guys can see the fib and where I put it at. You want to put the fib on the 5-minute chart and also on the body of the candle, not the wick. And that's going to be the low. Here's the low here. You guys can see that. It's on the bottom of the candle. And then I have it on the body of the top candle. Now, let me show you something else while we're here. I want you guys to pay attention to something. As you can see, there's 2 candles next to each other. Those are called flat bottoms. Anytime you see like a flat bottom, that normally is going to indicate there's going to be a change and a reversal change, right? So if you see a flat top of flat bottom, in your mind, mentally prepare for a reversal pattern coming up. All right, so that's what I look for as well. So you can see here, there's 2 candles next to each other. That's a flat top. And what happened? The market came down. Same thing over here. You have 2 flat tops, market came down. Right here, you have 2 flat tops, market came down. So those are just sweet spots where you can take trades. Okay, even up here at my resistance line here at 185, you can see that the market came up, hit a resistance, and it respected that and came back down. Came close, came back down. Came close, came back down. Look at that pattern. You can kind of see on an angle that the market is trending down here. It's starting to come down. So all those are indicators that, hey, guess what, buddy? Look for a drop here. Okay, so those are just things you can kind of look for with the fib and, kind of paying attention to make sure that, it's going to come down and you can kind of prepare for the market to come to your spot. Okay, so in conjunction with my fib, you see I have this orange dotted line. That's an alert. I'm waiting for the market to come to me. Okay, so basically you don't want to chase the market. You want to identify your entry point and you want to be patient and wait for the market to come to you. If the market does not come to your entry spot, don't worry about it. Wait for the next trade. It may come eventually to that area, and guess what? Then you're going to know it's a money trade. So don't worry about, trying to get in way up here, because when the candle opens back up on Sunday afternoon, it may come down to the 618, the orange line. And then you may miss that. You might get in too early and lose that trade. Okay, so always be patient, wait for your trade entry. So let's go back to the fib. So basically I have a line, my alert line here for a reason. If you look to the left, I saw a lot of resistance in this area. See those wicks right there? I really like wicks. When my wicks hit my zone, that's why I take the trade. I don't take the trade on the body of the candle up here. Make it a little bigger. I don't take the trade up here at what's that? 893. I want to wait for that wick, which is around 8. I think I said 930 area. Let me move this out the way. It was 930. Yeah. 8. I'm sorry. This is 930 is my first entry. Yeah, well, I wrote it on here. Hold on a second, guys. Because I'm already waiting on this trade to happen. I erased it. That's why I erased my mark up here, guys. So I was waiting for this to come down to 930. Right. I wanted the 930 entry right there. So 930 or below was my first call out. Secondly, I want this market to come down to this zone here, to the 618 zone. That would have been 832. That would be my second entry. So I'm waiting for 2 possible setups here. And again, I'm solely going off the trend and as well as the fib. So I want the market to come down to me, and I want to take it a call or buy the market back up because we're in an uptrend. So that is why I'm waiting for this trade setup. Okay, and I always look back left on my 15-minute chart or my 30-minute chart to make sure that what I'm seeing is gravy. So as you see here, I went to the 15-minute chart, and you can see my wicks. It's still at that level of 957 for my second entry. Go to my third entry and just kind of confirm that to make sure that it's still 855 on the 30. So it's still within that range of where I wanted it. Okay. Back down to the 5. I want to do one other thing here. So outside of this fib, one other thing you can do on your charts is make a trend line. This will help you identify which way the market is going and things like that, and what also take trade entries at. So you want to have at least 2 to 3 different points of contact for your trend lines. So basically, oh no, I got to redo that. I'm going down a little bit low because the trend is starting from down here. So it's basically coming from all the way down here and it's going up real strong. Wait a minute. What is that? Here we go. Okay. I got to pull this down. All right, you can see that's a very strong upward motion and a lot of momentum going up. Okay. So I don't really like that. Wait a minute. I need to use my arrow tool. I need to use a different color. Okay, like that better. Okay, so there you go. So that'll be the bottom of the trend. And then I want to trap this market in, right? So I'm going to make another arrow to kind of trap this market in. And it doesn't have to be pretty. All I'm trying to get is, you know, like I said, 3 or more points of contact to kind of follow the trend of the market. Okay, so I'm going to show you something that I know I look for and what I trade off of sometimes. Okay, so what I'm doing is anytime the market hits my trend, I could take a trade. Okay, so of course right here, that's my first entry, right? Market hit here. I could take a sell here. Really, I like it where it's crossing the horizontal line and also that wick. So I probably would want to take that there. If I move my trend line, it's in the vicinity, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. I see another entry right here, same thing. I have the trend line and the horizontal line. So right now I have 3 trades on this one pair that I could take in over time. Of course, this is not going to be, you know, 1 hour, 1 day. This may be a couple of days or whatever, a couple of hours, you never know. But I'm just showing you how, after you mark these things up, what you can look for to help you identify key areas. So I already drew this alert. I drew my trend line. You see the arrow, the wick coming down, the market coming down directly to where my arrow is now. So all these things are lining up to give me extra confirmations into my trade. So now I know come Sunday, for sure, I'm going to take my trade at this 930 level, for sure. So I'll probably put it in the markup to show you that I did take this trade because I really feel confident in it based on my analysis, okay? So that's just basic, stuff like I said on this actual pair. Anybody got any questions about what I covered so far or need me to go back over anything, feel free to let me know. I know you guys are unmuted and just make sure.
Hey, Vaughn,
Yeah.
question
Yep.
for you. Why did you put the fib on the body and not the wig?
Honestly, that's because that's the way Jake taught me to do it.
Okay.
Just being honest with you. And honestly, that's when that candle closes. From my understanding in my mind, is when the candle closes, right? And that's why I determined that's why he put it on the actual candle, on the body instead of the wick. But that's something that Jake put out there, and I just follow what he said. But if you really want to know the actual reason behind that, I would definitely say reach out to Jake, and I'll do the same thing. But I just went off what he said. But my understanding is, okay, the candle represents, the body represents the closing, right? Where it actually closed at. So that's why you would put it there. That way you don't get a false reading or whatever you per se you want to say on that. Okay. All right. We can also go over another pair.
Hey, Vaughn, I think some people got questions in the
Oh,
chat.
yeah. All right, let me check the chat. Thank you.
How do you set up alert lines?
Okay, great. Okay. Let me go back up to the first question.
I think a lot of people want to know about these alert lines.
Okay, great. All right, no problem. Sure, I'll go over that right now. So let me say this about alerts, right? When I found out about alerts, it changed my life, honestly, because, for me, I go through a lot of different pairs looking for the best entries, right? So the alerts help me out tremendously. I mean, when I set them, they go off when my market comes, and I also set them before it comes to my actual price point, because they give me time to go back to my broker, go into that pair, and then wait for that market to come up some more. If you put it exactly on your entry point, you may miss your trade. And the way you do this is that simply you use your dotted line, right? You click on your chart, and you're going to see that plus sign right there. You see the plus sign right there? You push on the plus sign, and it's going to say add alert. I can just push the add alert. Boom, there it is. If I want to move that, go back to the plus sign, right click on your, I'm sorry, go to your alert level, right click on it, you can edit or remove it. You push edit, you can change it the way you wanted it or whatever, how you want it to sound, things like that. You can send it to email, you can get an alert on your phone. It's so many things you can do with an alert. You can have this go off every time it hits there. If you want it to hit more than one time, you know, it may, because what happens in the market is it moves in waves, right? So let's say the market is in consolidation. Every time it hits my red line, I want my alert to go up. I can set that to happen, and I can take multiple trades in consolidation, right? So the alert will definitely help you and help you not lose your trade or miss out on your trade entries. Because once you're doing your homework, obviously you want to take your trades. I'm going to move that one. Make sure I watch the chat. Open that back up in case you guys got any questions. And again, you guys, this is a live session. So if you guys got questions or you want me to go over anything, you know, feel free to just hop in and say whatever. I'm an open book.
I mentioned something quick
yeah.
here, Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
Something, you know, that's helped me a lot on the charts, you guys, is when I'm, you know, I've learned this from Jake, you know, just watching a lot of his old Go Live recorded sessions, is on the higher time frames. So like on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 30-minute, I'll make my lines thicker so that I can recognize that that was a 30-minute support or resistance, or an hour support and resistance. It just will help you distinguish between, you know, where your 5-minute support, you know, your smaller time frame support and resistances are versus your longer term support and resistances are, so that you're not getting like super confused with like, hey, is this like an hour resistance, or is this like a 5-minute resistance where I'm actually going to take a trade, you know, in a shorter amount of time and stuff. So that's like one thing I did. And then, you know, just changing, you guys can kind of mess with it. You can keep all of your lines the same color. You guys can change them. But for me, I use blue for support and red for resistance. It just helps me also distinguish between where my support and resistance levels are. So that's just like a little tip that, you know, I would tell you guys to try out, so that you're not confusing yourself when you're marking up your chart.
Good stuff, Dan. And again, you guys, me and Dan have a slightly different trading strategy. I no longer use horizontal lines at all. I now solely only use my zone boxes, which I'm going to show you now. And also what I do now is also I draw like this. You see this trend line. I drew this trend line out to kind of help me identify what the market is going to do. This is my prediction. I actually drew this blue line before the market did this. So when this happened the other day, I was amazed to see the market did exactly what I predicted. And I actually put this in the chart market. We shared it with some people to show them I was kind of blown away by what the market did. But actually, when you, after you make your zones, your levels, I call these levels, right? You make your zone levels, the market is going to do, it's probably going to follow that. It's going to go up and down like that. When it does that, I call that a break and retest, right? Let me show you what I mean by that. So as you see, make it a little bit bigger. You guys can see the difference. Okay, so here's an example. Let's get my toolbar back. Okay, my toolbar doesn't want to move for me. Okay, how to use that? Okay, here we go. So this is what happened. So here, the market was at 853 at the zone. It came to the bottom of the zone. It came up. It broke through the zone, right? Then the market came back up, retested. So they broke through. So the market, it broke through that red engulfing candle. It broke through the zones. It came back and retested the 850 zone. So at this point, I could take a trade and sell the market back down. Y'all get that? Then the market came down to this zone, right? It came down to this zone. It came back up. The market broke through all the way down to here. Then it came back up, right? Came down. This is what the market does all day long. So anytime the market breaks my zone, retests my previous zone, I'm going to take that trade all day long. All right. So I hope you guys can see that. So the market came up, down, up, down. The market does this all day long. Once you can start identifying this, it's going to help your trading life a whole lot better. And what I recommend doing is, you know, just start, when you make your zones, start drawing out the possible trend line. It may or may not happen, right? But at least if you do that, it's going to help you see the market a little more clearly. And it's okay to to draw on your charts all day long because it's your chart. Nobody's going to see it. So basically, again, I'll show you on the side here. So basically, this is what I would do. I would say, okay, I got out my 4 zone. Let's say the market had not done this yet, but I got my zones from previous, right? I got my zones from the left. If I go back, I have my zones here. So in the future, I can say, okay, the market ain't came down here yet. Let's say if that wasn't even there yet, right? And I just came on an open chart and I said, boom, the market is probably going to do this. It's probably going to go up, down, going to come back up, down, come back up, down, come back up, and then down. I can do that all day and just kind of wait to see what happens. But this kind of just gives you a visual of like, okay, what the market can do. This to help you see things a little more clearly, because sometimes when you look at those little candles, it looks like a scrambled egg, you know, but when you draw it out and make it bigger, you know, make it all come to life, you'll start to see this thing. Because for me, it took me about a good 3 months into this program with the team here for my light bulb to go off. I had my aha moment, you know, so after that moment, you know, everything started to get more clearer for me. And I started doing things to enhance that aha moment even more by doing these zones and drawing out these patterns, okay? Well, these are just little tips that I use, and it may help you if you try them out. And again, you got to see what works for you. My strategy and Dan's strategy may not work for some of you guys. You know, cash trap may be the thing of your life that helps you, you know, be successful in this. But again, it's going to be about how much time and effort you put in every single day in the applying work to the charts. That's what I highly recommend you do. Utilize the AP4 chart markup chat group for feedback and put charts out there. Just put it out there. Don't worry about being wrong. Just put your charts out there and, you know, get the feedback that you need to help you be more successful. All right, what I'm going to do lastly is clean this chart up. I just want to draw my zones on here to show you guys, you know, how I do that. Now with my zones, I don't have to go all the way back to the daily because what I'm doing is focusing on the current market. What I do with this, I normally go to the 30-minute chart because my charts are already marked up from previous days, so I'm not going to go right back that far. But I'm just going to show you from the current market how I would do it. I will go to my 30-minute chart. I'll get my rectangle, and right here you can see all these wicks. That's where I'm going to put my first box, and just work my way the opposite way. Or I can start at the bottom, work my way back up. Now I'm only going to go to there. I don't want to go way. I don't want my box to be that big, because I wouldn't take the trade way up there. I'm going to go off the majority, which is about 881 for a possible trade, right? In that zone. And knowing what I do is I extend it out to the right. That way, come future days, it's already set up for me, and I can use this box or this chart for a few weeks or a month before I have to redo this all over again. Then I'll come back left and I'll drag it out more. But I already know there's nothing here, so I'm just going to stop there. There's nothing to the left up there. Now I'm going to box this market in. So right about here, like that. And I'm going to span it out this way. Okay, and I'll go back to the left, do the same thing. And you want to always check it to make sure that you have put it where you want it at. Okay, now I'm going down. All I'm doing right now, I consider this, I'm trapping the market. Okay, so I like that right there. You can see the levels just in here. Everything corresponds with each other. And I will do the same thing right there. Drag it down a little bit. And I'll expand it out. And I'll go down more. And again, I am going to drag it out left. I'm just putting the lines here first. Then I'm going to go left and see what I see to make sure that everything confirms. All I'm doing now is just boxing in my zones. So right here, I like this level here. Okay. See one more. All right. Now, if you look at the zones that I'm making, if you look closely, you can see the flat bottom right there. Okay, the reversals. right, now I'm gonna go left and see if I see anything. Okay, there it is. So now I can bring that over to my previous market and see if that's actually a real support level back in history. You can see there that boom is right there. All right, I like that. Okay, I'm good. Come down. As I come down, of course, there's more previous history I can use to make sure that my support levels are good. So right up in here, there's a good level. Same thing here. I got to make a decision on what I like best. I kind of like this one. So I'll use that. Okay. All right. And I'm going to drag it to the right. What I try to do is mark my charts up an hour before I start trading, and I'll set my alerts. That way, when I'm ready to trade, as soon as I start trading, I already got my alerts going off, and I'm taking entries. I try not to trade when I'm marking up my charts. I try to wait. Okay, so now you can see the stair step. Okay, you can see that this market is uptrending. I can make a trend line, or I could just, like I said, just utilize this to see what's happening, right? I know the market has done that. Just help me see what's going on. I was trying to move that, but no, man. All right, so again, we're waiting for this market to come back down using the fib. So now I'll put my fib back in place where I previously had it at before. And the reason why I'm expanding this out, in case the market stays within this area, I can take my first entry, my second entry, my third entry in that third zone. I mean, in the green zone. So that's why I kind of expanded out a little bit more. And that's pretty much it. So this is what I utilize with my zones. And I'm sorry, I got to put that on the 5. Also with this, I want to put it on the 5 as well. Otherwise, it's going to be super big. So I don't want it to be like that big. Let me go down to the 15 to let you see what it looks like now. So everything is copacetic. I like it. And again, you don't want to make these zones too big because when you go down to the 5, it's going to look so huge. So let me just make sure we're good. All right. So I like that. So now you guys can see how the zones actually look better on the smaller time frame because you have more candles, right? Everything is more condensed. So now I'll put my fib back on there. Expand it out to see it. Okay, so it's pretty much set up how I had it before I erased it. I already still got my alert there. I'm good on that. I can set a second alert for down here so I can just prepare myself. And with rollover, let me just cover rollover real quick. I don't roll over a whole lot when I trade, and I'm not bragging or anything like that. I'm just saying that with my strategy, I normally have to roll over one time if I do have to roll over, but I'm pretty precise on how I do this because of the zones and because I trade with the trend mostly. So if you guys want to make it a habit of definitely trading with the trend, that may help you reduce your rollover level. Okay. Let me check the chat. Any other questions? And you guys want to take a chance to draw a chart up right now and have me look at what you're seeing. I can help you as well because I got a little more. I got some time left. So you guys want to open it up and share your screen? You can. I can help you any way I can right now. Don't be scared.
So Vaughn, you said you're not too big on color coding your lines. I know a lot of people sometimes will throw red for resistance and like blue for support. Do you kind of just put them without a color code or what?
Well, no. Well, previously, before I started using the zones, I do utilize the red and greens, horizontal lines. But now I just use zones. I don't really use horizontal lines anymore for
Right.
SRT. So I just trade a little bit differently now than when I first started. Yeah, see, so here you can see here I use red and green lines. And before, my chart would look so crowded because I'll have so many lines on my chart
Right.
that I would get confused. So I find the zones work better for me. That's all. A great question though.
I got one. So for like new traders coming into the academy, how would you recommend them like finding something and sticking to something that works for them, or like trying to find something that works for them?
Honestly, my friend, I would be with trial and error because again, I tried a lot of different things in the beginning. It didn't work until I just stopped and focused on the basics. So the basics is the meat and potatoes is SRT, support, resistance, and trend line. Once you master that, you don't really need anything else, right? Anything else is a bonus. So I recommend mastering that first before you start getting into the stochastics, the RSIs, the MACD, and all that kind of stuff. Because to me, that's confusion. That's like having a whole bunch of appetizers, right, without the main course. So I would just want to stick to the main course first, master that, and then try to add more sauce to it. You know, I would say keep it simple, stupid, like the Marine Corps KISS. We use an acronym called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, just keep it very, very simple until you get it down pat, and then you want to add stuff to your flavor. Okay. And again, if you like the academy teaches you how to use these lines. So I would say in the beginning, yeah, use the line. That way you can definitely see how the different levels of resistance works. Like on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, how it's more stronger. That may help you in the beginning. And then you may want to graduate to the zones later. But I would definitely say, you know, start with the basis of what they teach you and stick to that for about 30 days, nonstop. You know, then once you master that and you want to tweak it a little bit, then you may want to try the zones out. But I would definitely say don't try to go out above what they're showing you and teaching you because it does work. Because I started there. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Anybody got any questions? Davion, you kind of quiet, man. You got any questions? Yeah, I see you.
I'm good, man. I'm just paying attention.
Oh,
That's
no
all I'm
problem, no
doing.
problem. I ain't mean to put you on blast.
No, you good, man. You good.
No problem, no problem. Having fun, man. All right. Well, hope I helped you guys out a little bit. Hope I shared my story and you guys got some value out of what I went over today. Again, I'm an open book. Feel free to reach out to me on the Telegram. I also put my Instagram out there for you guys. If you want to holler at me, that's cool.
You did. This is a recorded session, correct?
I did record it. Yes, I did.
Awesome. Could you somewhere post that in the chat so we can get this information out to everyone?
No problem. And I also got a YouTube page, you guys. So it's actually going to be on my YouTube as well. But I will put it in the I'll put it in the chat for you guys. I'll put the recording there. So you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, be great. And I put all my recorded live session that we do every week in there, some chart markup stuff that I do. It's all for the team. So I'm not trying to get publicity outside of IM. That's just for us. So if you guys want to check that out, I greatly appreciate that. All right. So I will definitely post this, you guys. Again, thank you guys. Appreciate your time. And let's rock.
All right. Thank you, Vaughn.
Oh, no problem.
Appreciate you, Vaughn.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.